The Edmonton Oilers do not get a winning streak. Still, they blow their 9th opportunity for one in a 2-1 loss at the hands of the New Jersey Devils, who roll through Alberta with back-to-back wins on back-to-back nights. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Joaquin Gage and Ben Thomson. We're going to break it all down for you tonight. Lots of action in that game. Not a lot of goals. Some great saves at both ends of the rink. And we want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat, of course. Let us know your thoughts. We'll get to as many texts as we can. We appreciate that. And, of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Get into the inbox and the nasty chat. Fire those texts our way, and away we go. Let's welcome in the boys, Joaquin and Benny, as Edmonton falls to 25-18-8. New Jersey improves to 26-22-2. And Gager, I didn't want to doubt you. I was positive when Benny asked if the Oilers were going to get to a 3-game winning streak for the first time this season. I liked their chances. I outlined that I thought that the Oilers were going to have to be a little bit sharper than they were against Vancouver. And, who did they win against? Vancouver and
Blues.
The Blues. Thank you. That's right. I'm just losing my mind. They were good at times, but you were right. It's that scene from Happy Gilmore. You're right. I'm wrong. You're good looking. I'm not. You're smart. I'm stupid. They were not connected. They were not moving the puck efficiently. Third period, they got their chances, but they were a little loose.
Yeah, I believe the half-life of Casamigos tequila is like a little kind of around 48 hours. And you could see that's why the game was so late, I think, Tommy, is because after that second period, I think they finally got the tequila out of their systems. And we're starting to do some pretty good stuff where all in all, it was sloppy. Like the first 2 periods, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. What's Tommy going to have to do for me to stay up this late? Because it didn't look like it wasn't a good game. But there was some interesting things that happened. I loved Podkolzin jumping in for McDavid there. Right, yeah. that was so cool. Even when they showed the hit looked a lot worse than it actually was. It looked like he got his hands up in his head, but it was straight to the shoulder. So. Whatever. I still I hated the call. When a guy drops his gloves and the guy's 8 feet away from you, it's not an instigator. Okay. That's that. We had great goaltending. Some great saves. How nice is it from an Oilers viewpoint on the goaltending, where when you're down a goal and you don't allow that backbreaker? Jarry was good tonight, with kind of a little bit of a brain cramp on Darnell Nurse's part that changes early, doesn't recognize that the play is already coming the other way. I mean, that's an easy play to stop. Yeah. But we get a 2-pad stack with a glove save.
Beautiful.
I mean, you just you don't see those very often, so everyone's going to remember a few things from this game, and a very entertaining third period. Although it didn't go the Oilers' way, multiple chances, but then again, it just seemed like, that tequila sticks with you and takes. You got to adjust the sights after a night out on the hockey sticks, because the scopes weren't, the laser sighting just wasn't there.
Hey, I don't know how. Yeah, so Casamigos, you said 48-hour shelf life. What about the Don Julio, the 1842? Is it? That's the good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what they're probably going into something a little bit more Azul. The ones that are $132 for half an ounce or whatever it is.
Yes.
You think doesn't last as long, but it's just the same. You might as well just be. Might as well just be hitting the Jose Cuervo.
Oh boy, yeah. Some rough ones there with Jose Cuervo. Don Julio, 1942. I apologize. Benny Thomson, your takeaways.
I mean, to me, the Devils did not play well tonight. I'll get to you others in a second.
Okay.
To me, the Devils did not play a good 3 periods at all. To me, there was not a single time where I was like, oh, here come the Devils. They did not look good. They looked like a team that struggled to score. But they scored 2. Good for them. I don't love the first goal Jarry let in, but he made up for it with that ridiculous save on that 2-on-1. Shorthanded. So good for him. I thought he was solid tonight. First 2 periods to the Oilers, man. I don't know if they were just trying to get the tequila out of their systems or whatever it was, but sloppy, just fighting the puck. You know what I mean? It's pretty evident when you watch a team that's been clicking and you look at tonight where they're just like, a pass is not the right angle to hit a one-timer there, or the puck bounces over a guy's stick when he's making a pass. Like it was rough. You can tell they just weren't really clicking. Until that third period, I want to say probably 5 minutes in is when they finally started to get under the feet or over the feet a little bit and started making some good plays. But I mean, Jake Allen, man, I almost said Josh. Josh Allen doesn't make those saves. Jake Allen just was ridiculous tonight. Another I was saying to you guys before we started the stream, he just loves playing the Oilers, I guess. He just must love it because it seems like every game he plays against the Oilers, he's ridiculous. He's lights out. So, yeah, I mean, this one felt a little bit similar to the Islanders loss, although I do think the Oilers played better in that game. It was just another one of those games where it's like, if the goalie isn't that ridiculous on the other side of the net, the Oilers probably win this one. Would you have been satisfied with the win tonight? With not playing the first good 2 first periods?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Get the win streak, right? Get the win streak.
Absolutely. Take the win, learn from your mistakes, and play better the next game. But
it wouldn't have been Oilers are just as dominant as they were before. It was they didn't play great the first 2 periods. But I mean, yeah, it's disappointing. Again, we're going to have to keep talking about this non-3 game win streak and all this stuff.
They keep doing it 9 times this season. Yeah. Jake Allen, by the way, improves to 14-9-2 against Edmonton in his career. He had a .255 goals against average. That'll definitely come down. And then a .911 save percentage. That'll go up versus the Oil. He's had an okay season. He improves to 12-11-1 on the season. But yeah, he made some pretty nice saves. And, people, ourselves, at the station the day after, we're always hard on the Oilers when they lose games, and we point out what they did wrong and their mistakes. And you're right, they're slapping at pucks for passes and just not crisp, like Joaquin and Benny alluded to. But I think it is fair to also remind everyone they were down a man to start the game. They went 11-7. I don't even know if I remember seeing Regula out there. 2:35.
Second period.
Yeah.
Second period. He was it's the game just seems too fast. He's playing the game in, how do I phrase this? In the moment, right? He's playing checkers, not chess. He gets the puck and you watch, then he tries to look for the play. The decision making has to be so much quicker. He's got to know what he's going to do with that puck before he gets it, or if he gets it, the decision making has to speed up. I see that as the biggest thing holding him back right now, because there are some good things with his game. When he has time, you can see he's capable, but that's that side of it, the brain. The one tool that you really need, especially as an NHL defenseman. That's what you need, because, he coughed up the puck there in the second period, and they almost scored there, and Jarry had to make a good save.
Really quickly, one last point on Regula, and I've said this before, his NHL experience is minimal, right? We're in the 50 game range right now of NHL experience, but he's 25. And the Oilers kind of made their bed when they went out, plucked him from Boston, didn't want to lose him on waivers, felt like they could work with him, and now they put themselves into this predicament. Is it as easy as saying he needs AHL time at 25 years old and only 50 NHL games? They gave him a shot, started out good. The game's only going to get quicker as the season progresses, and like you outlined there, Joaquin, a little bit slow, a little bit behind on those decisions. What is the answer? Because I kind of gave him a bit of an out when I was talking about him, being like, he just needs more time to play. But what do you do?
Yeah, this is where my opinion on Regula is actually playing in the NHL at this point is hurting him, because the couple things that are holding him back is ice time. Mm-hmm. He's not playing in all the situations. It's those sheltered minutes, right, that he gets out there for, and you're just kind of holding a spot and hopefully get the puck down so he can change. And he needs to play. Only 25. I mean, for a D-man, I don't think could he brush into a top 4? I don't know. I think he's a 5'6" kind of guy.
Okay.
Like a journeyman defenseman, but he has to play more. I think the one thing he can is confidence. Sometimes just having confidence allows you to read the play a little bit better than you can't be going out on the ice every shift thinking, I hope I don't get scored on. You can't go out with that mindset or you're going to get scored on. That's just not that's a dangerous way to play hockey. Right. So, I think he needs to go to the American League at this point and just play every second shift and go from there, and then see what you have and make a decision from there. Because we do see guys coming out of college, especially defensemen, around that same age. Right.
Great point.
And probably, I've played with guys that have played college and played probably like 2.5 years in the American League before they actually get up, and you can see a huge difference between the time they started their professional career and that sweet spot of 27 to 29, where they start really turning around. Vinny Desharnais is kind of a great example, right? And it took him a long time, but I think Regula's kind of in that mold.
Yep. Fair point. And Desharnais had quite the impact against the Florida Panthers last night. My goodness. That was entertaining for sure. He even scored a goal. And I was going to say, this is not a comparison to Regula, but I remember Brian Rafalski played in like Finland for a few years after college and then came to the NHL with the Devils and became an all-star. And so, yeah, good point. And I'm glad I asked that. Great point, Gager. Great point on that one. All right, let's dive into some text. The Oilers fall 2-1 to the Devils. And let's get your thoughts on what you saw tonight. Stupid Peter Boys texts in a handshake emoji and says, "Stupid Darnell." Harsh, but that was a bad decision by Darnell Nurse to change. Yeah. What could he have been thinking in that moment? Because the puck was being regrouped.
Again, it was brain fart. I think he got into that kind of physical battle, and just for some reason he just thought, I'm getting off the ice now. Like there was you look at his head movement, there was no recognition. Like as soon as he got up, it was just it wasn't even a glance to see what was happening. Because I mean, the guy he's tussling with is the guy that scores the goal. It didn't make any sense to make the change there. So let's just dumb Nurse. Let's just call it Casamigos Nurse. Okay, that's something that you probably doesn't do on a regular basis, right? It's that fog, that tequila malaise that I'm so fond of.
Yes, what is that? The guava?
Yeah.
My goodness, Benny, were you losing your mind in the studio when you saw that?
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, why? What why?
Yes, great question.
He got into this like scuffle with Cody Glass, and so like when he makes the play up the boards and then Glass comes to hit him, I would understand if there was no scuffle or anything for him to get off. Like if he wants to get off right there, okay, fine. There's an excuse for that. But you spend 10 seconds going at it with Cody Glass, and then to not even pick your head up and go, okay, no, they're coming back the other way. Yeah. To just go straight off.
And you go right to the bench.
Yeah, right to the bench. Cody Glass, the guy who you're cross-checking and mother effing, goes around and hits a one-timer. I
thought when I first saw the replay, I go, oh, did he hurt himself? That's why he went off? But he was out the next shift.
Yeah.
All right. So I was like, oh, what?
Yes,
I gave him the benefit of the doubt with, I did. I thought, because they kind of got tangled up there for a second, right? But yeah, that was a rough one.
It was.
And those are I love this time of year in the NHL. because guys are good. I mean, look, there was some mistakes obviously tonight, but the margins are so small that the one little very correctable error sometimes leads to the result of the game in itself, right? Yep. And so just that small little decision that cost the Oilers from possibly, if who knows what the outcome of the game would be. Maybe it's the same, but at least you're probably going into that third period tied at 1. And what we saw was a New Jersey team that with the gas tank was empty, and the Oilers did look revitalized for that third.
Yeah, they had 31 minutes and 28 seconds to try to get the equalizer, and they did pour it on, and there were some great saves from Allen, but that ends up being the game-winning goal, and it was on a poor decision by Darnell Nurse. So we'll definitely acknowledge that. All right, let's go back into the inbox. This is from Gray-Haired Teacher. It is directly for Joaquin. It says, question for Gager. What are they going to do with Pickard? Can't have this tight of a roster.
Well, the two guys that have shown that in the key situations in games, I mean, just look at the Connor Brown breakaway. That's the backbreaker. No shots for 15 minutes. I hate to say it, but in years past, that was going in the net, right? Yeah. And fans are headed for the doors at that point. But you got goalies that keep you in the game. Look at that big, huge windmill pad stack save, right?
That's
awesome.
Awesome.
Unbelievable. The timing of the saves that Connor Ingram and Tristan Jarry are doing right now is what I think this organization has been really looking for over the past few seasons. And yeah, Calvin Pickard's done an amazing job, and they do not get to the Stanley Cup Finals last year without even the past 2 years, without what he was able to go in there and do for the team. But I think you got to move on from this. I think it's time I do think Calvin Pickard's going down. I think the risk of losing either one of these two guys, even though I think the safest goalie to send down would be Tristan Jarry if you're going to do that, because of the cap hit.
Right.
That's the only reason. Yes. And you're not doing that. No. So, you might expose yourself to losing a really good 3 goalie trident, right? If someone does go down, I don't see the Edmonton Oilers having any problem whatsoever of getting Calvin Pickard back up with the big club. But I think also that he's got to go down sooner rather than later. You don't want him just sitting around and practicing. You'd rather have him down there and playing some games, staying sharp. Does it really matter what your numbers look like? Because what Connor Ingram's been able to do with what his numbers look like in the American League to now, it's just getting reps, get in there, try to get your game back to a level that if you are called upon, that you're ready to go.
And just really quickly, I'll tell Gray-Haired Teacher that I had a conversation with someone from the organization on Sunday, and they said they're in no rush and they're not going to force the decision right away. That was what I was told. Take it how you want. And the reasoning was because with Henrique on LTIR, they don't have to back themselves into a corner here.
Right.
Benny, go ahead. Sorry.
Theory. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying this is what the Oilers are thinking. But do you think so? Pickard hasn't played in a little bit, and I don't, barring injury, don't think he's going to play for a little bit. I'd be shocked if they're trying to bring in Pickard to start a game. Do you think that if Calvin Pickard sits, let's say after the Olympic break, let's say he even sits a week or two after that as well, and then gets thrown on waivers, do you think there's a less likely chance that a team picks him up on waivers because he hasn't played that much? No.
I don't think so. I think they trust him. He's a veteran goalie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. That's how
they look at the track record.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty good up to this point. Mm-hmm. I mean, what he's done over this time is quite impressive. And I mean, who knows what happens? But last year, just a side story, I did his sister, who's quite funny on X or Twitter with some of her things. I kind of reached out to her and I just because Pickard went in, he's winning and stuff, and I said, hey, I wanted to see if she would come on the show.
Yep.
She got back to me. She responded. She goes, I'd love to, but this is my brother's time. I want it to be about him, which I thought was unbelievable. But I said, if things go the way I'm sure you hope they do, you have to come on the show. And she said, for sure afterwards. But it didn't end up that way. But he's done well, man. I think there's still a few more years in Pickard too, even if it's not with this club.
He's only 32. His brother Chet, who played for Canada World Juniors in net, was on Reed's show last year, and he was excellent. So, they all seem to have, it sounds, I don't know much about his sister, but it sounds like all of them have a pretty upbeat demeanor and are pretty positive people. And I've got a lot of time for that, to be honest with you. So that's a great idea, Gage. Good job reaching out. Hopefully sometime down the road, she comes on one of our shows. That'd be awesome. Okay, I'm going to do this. This comes in from Patty from the Brew House. Says, Jet and his buddy Lars say, what's up, Tommy? Side note, that game would have been 4-0 in the first if Skinner was in net. Patty, Jet, and Lars, what's up to all three of you? I saw you guys on the big screen tonight. Hope you had a great time. Looking good. Yikes. And I saw Jet do the... I'm not going to say it, but Jet did. I'm pretty sure Jet did. If I'm wrong, text me. But anyway, it looked like they were having a lot of fun. So shout out to Patty from Brewhouse and Jet and Lars who were listening on the way home from the game. Really quickly on the goalie thing, I was thinking about this when you guys were talking about Calvin Pickard. Another thing that's kind of popped up throughout the season from people from outside of the organization with other teams, whenever the conversation about goaltending would come up with the Oilers, they would say, I see, they'd be like, I see the numbers for the goalies, but have you seen how this team defends? And that would come up, and this would come from other team staff, hockey ops department, scouts, and people in and around them. They'd be like, I don't know, man. They don't play good defense, so I don't know why people are dumping on the goalies. Their numbers are crappy, but defense is particularly great. There
is a correlation, Tommy, with the play of these two guys to what it was before with Stuart Skinner, where with Ingram, I mean, we've all been discussing how his rebound control, what it looks like.
Yep.
Jarry is proficient with his, to the point where he did it a few times tonight, where good hard shot, and he made sure the puck, he booted it into a vicinity where there was no players. He's really reading the play. I saw Ingram kind of scramble once last game, and it was because he tried to push back, but he caught an edge. They're just in control. And so, I mean, as a defenseman, if your goaltender is a fish out of water back there and the other team has the puck, you start panicking, scrambling. Do I have to block this thing? Do I have to get in the way? I mean, the Oilers have really good shot blockers, but let's just take Darnell Nurse for the point. Sometimes he gets a little bit out of it, but I've seen him way under control a lot more, and a lot more trust is put in his goaltenders that to face this shot, because there's probably a good chance that he's going to cover it up and this is going to be done, right? So that there's a confidence that's grown, I think, with the defensive play of the Oilers as a whole, where that's one of the main reasons they're playing better defensively in their own end, because of the trust of these two goaltenders has grown with that group.
Yeah, and I'm not taking anything away from Ingram and Jarry. I think
I think they're playing better. I'm not saying it's all the goalies, right? But they go hand, defensive play and goaltending kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, one thing that has come out of this time with the new goaltenders and obviously Calvin Pickard in tow at the same time, there seems to be a renewed sense of confidence in the goaltending, at least for the time being. And you hear that when you talk to fans in and around the city. I got that yesterday. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying no to that. And but I would like to acknowledge the defensive game has been somewhat better, which is good. But you know what? This is a good problem to have. We'll see how they handle it going forward. All right. Tom, I see what you did there. Says it's pretty disheartening to see Mangiapane, Frederick, Janmark come out for an offensive zone draw after the McDavid line had sustained pressure. It's kind of just where we're at right now.
I was going to mention that. Like that to me was like, the Oilers lose 2-1 today, but okay, yeah, McDavid, Nuge, and Hyman just were out there dominating for a minute and a half. They have to come off O-zone draw, and it's, you're throwing out Lazar, Janmark, Mangiapane, Frederick, who are it's kind of just the state the Oilers are at right now, just with injuries and all that. But
I don't know what you guys think. Gager, we're going to get your look ahead right after this, but I don't know. What did you guys think of when Roslovic ended up centering Savoy and Howard, because they were rotating through, especially in the first period, all three centermen. Yep. But I actually thought with Roslovic, they looked the best.
There's something there, man. That's a solid, maybe solid's the wrong word, but that's an up and coming line. I think they enjoy playing together, and there's chemistry growing. So again, I think that's something that this coaching staff can fall back on at a time, but I think they're really on the cusp, of doing something. I mean, you inject a few more bodies into this lineup, and if you can keep that line together, I think they're going to have success eventually, quite soon. They're just playing the right way. They're all playing the right way.
Smart hockey players, that's for damn sure. Pretty skilled too. Nice goal by Savoy on the redirection. Liquid Beaver texts us in before we get Gager's thoughts going into next game. Says, first off, Gager is a savant. And then it says, is there any reason why they have Wallman on the power play instead of Roslovic? One observation, when McDavid and Draisaitl aren't on the power play, Bouchard has absolutely no clue how to break the puck out of his own end. It's laughable. That comes in from the Liquid Beaver. I think they want that left shot.
Yeah.
And then Wallman's got good offensive abilities for a blue liner, right?
Yeah, and they had Pod Colson was practicing there too, right? But
he got out there for a power play shift, I think, a bit.
Yeah.
He missed the first power play because he was in the box. Couldn't go out there, so they threw Wallman in there for him.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, who's that spot? If like, knock on wood, but Bouchard gets an injury, who do you think's going out there?
Jake Wallman.
It's Jake Wallman. So why not give him some cookie time with these guys on the power play? It just shows you too, right? How, I mean, it's still a good power play, but you throw a Draisaitl out there, it goes from good to deadly real quick, right? It's Oilers fans, make sure you're blessed with this power play right now, because you look at other ones and it's not even close.
I had a buddy over, and I literally said that earlier to him. I'm like, every time Draisaitl is not playing in that spot and they fill in someone, I realize how important and how good he is from that spot. Like those aren't just tap-ins that he scores. Like they are bullets that are like placed so perfectly. Majority of the time when he shoots it from there. So you see it with Wallman and Pod Colson are there. It's similar looks to what Draisaitl gets. This time it's a save and it's not in the right spot. Draisaitl usually puts it there.
It's just the elite passing ability too, right? Like if you watch Tampa, I don't know if you watch Tampa tonight, but Kucherov's in that spot, and it's a joke when and Leon he does such a good job of drawing people to him, right? And Kucherov's like a snake charmer. Like you just get mesmerized by him for a bit, puts you to sleep, and then so good.
Then deadly. He hits you with that venom. All right, it's Gazzola, Gage, and Thomson here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. 2-1, the Oilers fall to the New Jersey Devils. You can text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get Gager's final thoughts going into Thursday, the return of Brett Kulak and Stu Skinner. And the way Tristan Jarry played tonight, Gager, pretty sure he wants the net on Thursday too.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I think they'll go back to Ingram. They've already given a game to Jarry, right? Like he got it in Pittsburgh. So, and I think they have something rolling. they're playing a lot of games here. I don't see a problem going with Ingram again. It'll be a different game, completely different than what we saw tonight. I think it's going to be a much higher pace. It's going to be fun. There's a boatload of skill out there and a few guys that really want to show the other team up. It'll be great to see Kulak, and I'm pretty sure we'll probably see old 74 net. That's going to be an interesting game for some Skinner chants. And of course, when you have Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby and Malkin and Letang, it's a wealth of talent out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Thursday. I know we're all anticipating it. Whenever Pittsburgh comes to town, it's great. And then this one has some added juice to it for sure. Joaquin, thank you again for filling in for Belzy. We always really appreciate it. I know it was last minute. Excellent stuff as always, my friend. Get some rest, and I'll see you in studio tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
There's Joaquin Gage, our game analyst, helping us break down the Oilers' 2-1 loss at the hands of the New Jersey Devils. I've got a bunch of texts to get to. We're going to get to the player of the game in a little bit. We're going to hear from Reid Wilkins, who will be stopping by for Reid's Read. Might even go inside the locker room as we'll hear from the Oilers in their loss. And then, you know what, Benny? We'll do the turning point of the game. This one's pretty straightforward tonight. I think we should all be on the same page when it comes to this. There were some great moments, some great saves at both ends, and Joaquin pointed out that double pad stack glove save by Tristan Jarry on Cody Glass. Absolutely a thing of beauty. A little bit of a throwback there. That was immaculate in the execution to perfection, one could say. Well done, Tristan Jarry. But let's get to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. I'm sorry to do this, guys. It's a fresh wound, but you got Darnell Nurse tied up along the wall by the bench at the blue line with Cody Glass. Puck gets pushed back to the Devils zone. They go D to D, regroup like you do in practice a million times. And Darnell Nurse finally unlocks from Glass, does not take a look, or if he did, he just ignored what was happening out there and goes straight to the bench to go for a change. And that allows Glass to be left uncontested. He gets the feed, buries it past Tristan Jarry, and that goal ends up standing as the game winner. So that is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Like an injury to your knee, shoulder, elbow, whatever Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy can fix for you, that was painful.
Can they fix a car too?
They could try, but I don't like their chances. Yeah, you know who can? Iron 5.
Yep, I was about to say.
There you go. We have some great partners over at Hello Hockey for sure. But that is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Again, if you have something that you need fixed or you want taken a look at with your body, www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. Good people over there, and we appreciate them being a part of our fine program. All right, Benny Thomson, what do you say? We get to some text, or do we have some clips ready to go?
No clips from the dressing room. Hernan's been texting me about the interviews. He said Lazar is a great interview after tonight. So I'm waiting for those to get posted.
Okay, we'll get to Lazar when that comes up. We also have Reid Wilkins coming up. Atif Texan says, good third period for the Oilers, 0-9, trying to win 3 in a row this season. What is it going to take to win 3 in a row? Good grief from Atif. Yeah, I've been asking that for a while now. Matty Ice says, a cup can still be won without winning 3 in a row. It's harder to win one that way, but the Oilers do like to make things more difficult than they need to be. Shrug emoji. Example, not shooting on the power play, giving away the puck to allow high-quality shots for the opponent. It's just what the Oilers like to do. Don't expect any sweeps from this team in the playoffs. That's from Matty Ice R.
If they were to play the Seattle Kraken in the first round, I like their chances.
You like those chances?
I do understand the sentiment though of how they can't string together a win streak. I totally get that, but yeah, I like their chances at beating a team like Seattle in a sweep.
Mick Diesel says 3 in a row is overrated anyway. Picardi wants Leon back soon. Yeah, I thought that was encouraging that Knobloch this morning told us that he expects him back later this week. So hopefully it's by Thursday. I think that would be great. But we'll see if the big German needs more time or not. Don't really want to pry too much in regard to that. Let's go to Rod Z. Text in, says streak continues. This team can't win 3 straight. And then he has 3 straight puke emojis. I see what you did there. Tip of the cap to you, Rod Z. And then adds 7 shots in the first 35 minutes. Not good. Yeah, that was noticeable. And the shot clock was, I'll just say this, Benny, really quickly. Shot clock was closer than I thought it would be. Or you started to realize, like, the Devils were buzzing earlier in the game, but they kept missing the net. And their shooting percentage is like a league worst 8.7 or 8.9%. It's not good. And yeah, the Oilers unable to take advantage.
I noticed that too. Like I had that jotted down. Like Devils have the momentum, but it was a missed shot or a block shot. I actually thought the Oilers did a pretty good job in that first period of getting in front of them. I mean, the shot ended up being 4-4 at the end of the first period. It was the second period for the Devils is what got them the shot lead, beating the Oilers 10-6. But in that third period, I mean, Devils don't have a shot till 15 minutes into the third period. It's a Connor Brown break.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like the to me, the Oilers were, in my opinion at least, still probably the better. I thought the Devils had some good chances in the first 2 periods, but if you were to count high dangers, I think the Oilers beat out the Devils tonight. And it's not close.
Especially that third, like you were saying.
Yeah, like the third period, they had probably 8 or 9 alone in that third. So to me, yeah, if the Oilers were going tonight and they were clicking, and I think if everyone was healthy and they're typically playing how they typically play, I like their chances at winning tonight. But yeah, it was just they were fighting it.
Yeah. Kevin McCurdy. Hey, good to see Kevin in the nasty chat. Says Devils played with more speed. Oilers were too much panic. Can't argue that either. Yep. I'm with you on that one, Kev. Good to see you. Big Uke says it's annoying they haven't got 3 in a row, but not even close to be all end all. And then Chad Jenkins says, as long as you keep winning 2 out of the 3, you're good. Yeah. And like, I know I've been on it, like the not winning 3 in a row. I brought it up, I think when they blew their 4th opportunity at it a couple months ago. I was like, geez, they can't figure out a way to win 3 straight. And I agree. I'm not going to argue or disagree with people that say, hey, 2 out of 3 is good. 2 out of 3 is good. It really is. Mm-hmm. Just for me, whenever you look at like championship caliber teams, they find ways to not only have success, but sustain it. This group, it remains elusive to them. And I don't understand why. It's one of those funny things that keeps biting them in the butt for sure. Yeah. Fu Mingo, first text into the station. Thank you, Fu Mingo. Good to hear from you. Really appreciate it. Says some nights you got it, some nights you don't. Lots of little miscues throughout. Good effort in the third. Jarry kept the Oilers in it. That's from Fu Mingo. Welcome. We appreciate that. Great to see new numbers texting in. I've had a lot more of that in recent months, and that's a fantastic thing. So welcome aboard, Fu Mingo. I do have some stats in regard to the 3-game winning streak thing, and it comes in from Swainer. Swainer always has the goods. He digs these up, and he's one of the best. So really appreciate Brian Swain for doing this and passing these along pretty much every game night afterwards. Swainer says a couple notes about the 3-game win streak. The 99-2000 team took until their 55th game to win 3 straight, so the Oilers will at least tie that record unless they win the next 3. The 99-2000 team had 4 2-game win streaks, 2 which ended in a tie before they finally won 3 straight on their 5th try. This year's team is now 0-9. Thank you, Swainer, for that. Remember ties? I do. Benny, you were not born in 99-2000. That was kind of a year of transition for the Oilers. Mm-hmm. They had just come out of the Cujo years. They had one year where they started the season, it was 98-99, with Mikhail Stalenkov and Bob Essenza. And then midway through the year, they made a trade and got Tommy Salo.
Yeah.
I think towards the trade deadline, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. And then the 99-2000 season was the first with Tommy Salo. And then he established himself as a solid number one, ended up becoming a 2-time All-Star. First time an Oiler goalie was an All-Star since I think like Grant Fuhr or Bill Ranford in like 1990 or 91. And then, Salo had a good chunk of years. He had like 4 good seasons. And then, the 2002 loss to Belarus where he let in the goal from center ice. It hit him. It was like a dump in, like a slapper. It hit his glove, bounced over his head and in, and it stunned the Swedes, and it kind of wrecked Tommy Salo after that. He didn't last much longer in the NHL. Got traded to Colorado in 03-04. Ty Conklin had kind of taken over, and then I don't know if he even lasted past the 04-05 lockout. I think he ended up just going back to Sweden. 99-2000 was kind of Tommy Salo's establishing himself. So, Swainer, thank you for those stats, and I hope I got my years right. I'm pretty sure I do. But that's what I recall about the 99-2000 year. I think they got swept by Dallas that year in the playoffs in the first round. And then 2000, they finished 6th and then lost in 6 games to the Stars. Played them better. Dougie Waite, Billy Guerin, Ryan Smith, really, really good. And then I think next year, 01-02, they traded Guerin in November, getting Anson Carter, who's a good Oiler for a bunch of years, for sure. All right, we do have some clips to get to. Let's hear from Curtis Lazar. I'm curious to hear what old Lazar had to say in his 600th National Hockey League game.
It's a bit of a frustrating night. Most of the chances were towards the end of the game, but not a lot in the first 2 periods.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we weren't at our best. Kind of just lacked that last, 5-10% of urgency, playing connected. Except we pushed, played more of our brand of hockey at the end, but we just weren't able to get it done.
It's been around a while here. Not able to put together these 3-game streaks. Like, for whatever reason, it's a bit of a quirky stat, but what do you think? What do you read into it? What does it say?
I mean, it's a tough league. Any given night, anyone can beat anyone. And again, tonight's a prime example. We got to be at our best. A great opportunity for us. Like you said, our division's still up for grabs. We got to keep on chipping away and stringing some wins together here. So we're playing some good hockey, but we can't take any nights off. So you got to put together a solid 60 minutes each and every night. And unfortunately, 20 minutes are going to cut it.
Is that something you guys are aware of pregame? Like, let's get this third one out of the way here so we can stop talking about it.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you want to win every time you step on the ice. The win streaks are fun, but they're not going to be given to you. Like I said, it's the best league in the world. These guys play hard. They played last night. They got on us early. We defended well, but again, we didn't play fast enough into our identity. They did a good job managing the blue lines as well. I didn't think we had enough pucks below them and generate off the forecheck. But as we did that, the game went on. We got our looks.
What did you say about Colson rushing right into the play?
It's great. I mean, that's what we're all about in here. We stand up for each other, and Pods, he said, didn't bat an eye. He went in there and got the job done. So we're, we'll kill those penalties all the time. That's what we're all about.
That really instigated when already had his gloves off before he could get.
I mean, I can't really comment on that. I don't know.
Bigger picture thought for you. You've sort of worked yourself into this position where it seems like you need to be an every night guy based on the way you're playing. Maybe some patience was required, some scratches here and there that, maybe would have been frustrating. What's sort of your approach been to pushing through all that and getting where you seem to be now?
I mean, day-to-day mindset. You got to be prepared for any moment, every opportunity that comes your way. I understand it's a long, grueling season. You need a lot of bodies, and when your name gets called upon, you got to go out there and do a job. So I can kind of lean on that experience, playing this role, and just kind of go out there and owning it. So I feel good about my game. Playing a few in a row here feels good. A little more pep in my step, I guess you can say, and I hopefully can keep it going.
How'd you get to 600? Do you think? What did it for you?
It's not my hands, that's for sure. No, honestly, it's just work, passion, competitiveness, a lot of help from my family and coaches, teammates, and you hit a milestone like this. It's fun just to kind of reflect on the journey, the ups and downs, the in-betweens, the stops along the way, and all the people that have helped me get here. And I'm still playing competitive hockey, in the best league of the world, so I'm proud of myself for that.
When you were in the minors, were you thinking
I did. Yeah. I mean, going down the American League, I think it was my third or fourth season was the best thing for me. I own that. I could have went one of two ways. I just put my head down and worked, and it's paying off now. So I'm proud of myself, and I feel like I'm playing some pretty good hockey.
That's Curtis Lazar, and that's exactly why he's the best. Works his ass off, honest, cheerful, great head on his shoulders, and love those answers there from Lazar. And congratulations to him on 600 National Hockey League games as we welcome in Reid Wilkins. Lazar, 841 time on ice, one shot, one hit, but had a great opportunity to, got sent in. I think it was by Ike Howard on that shot, and just got stopped by Jake Allen. Jake Allen made some great saves tonight, and kudos to him, as well as Tristan Jarry. All right, it's time for Reid's Read, brought to you as always by Ewell. Ewell, your power play specialist. Ewell has the gear you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you can order online anytime at ewell.ca. Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Some electrical moments in that game, Riedrich. I loved Curtis Lazar there, and just like refreshing to the candidness, the good humor, and that's a guy you look at and go, you know what? He busted his ass. Yes, he was good, but he also had to work his ass off. And I love that answer he had for Jim when Maddie asked about, did you think you'd get to 600 games when you got sent down? And he's like, yeah, I did. You know what? I love that.
Yeah, I mean, a great interview. Ever since he was an Oil King, he's been a good interview when he was, 16, 17. So it's pretty straightforward and honest when he's asked questions, and that's how he plays. But unfortunately, that couldn't overcome a very sloppy first 2 periods by the Edmonton Oilers tonight. I mean, just muddled around, couldn't complete a pass, couldn't receive a pass, couldn't find where they were supposed to put the puck. I mean, I've heard you reading texts and stats about the shots on goal, lack of them through the first 40 minutes of the game. It was just really poor. There's kind of two sides of it. There's maybe the side to it that they haven't looked that disjointed, or to use a term that they use, disconnected in quite a while, even in some of the games they've lost recently. But the flip side to that is, okay, like here's a chance to actually win 3 in a row, which I believe every team in the league has done except for the St. Louis Blues and the Oilers. So, and then I don't know if you got to Knobloch yet, if I missed it when I was coming in, but Knobloch said that he felt like they thought it was going to be easy, maybe, and that's pretty disappointing. Like, it's not like they'd won 11 in a row and they're a little fat and happy, and then have a night where they play like they think their poo doesn't stink, and they lose. Like it's 2 in a row. Yeah, like it's not a great streak that should have them all, thinking that all the problems in the world are fixed. So that was pretty disappointing that the head coach felt that. Now, he did also say they had a chance to win 3 against the Islanders and played maybe one of their best games of the year, and just and got stopped by an excellent goaltender. True. That's true. So, I mean, they woke up in the third. They made it interesting, but it was just this was like, I heard the texter say it was a bummer to see that one line go out after McDavid, Hyman, and Nuge had a good shift. Mm-hmm. But let's face it, is for the first 40 minutes, it was top to bottom in terms of the screw-ups. Yes. I mean, Bouchard, a couple weak drop passes. McDavid threw the puck away up the middle. Ekholm muffed a pass in the neutral zone. It was all over the lineup through the first 40 minutes that they just could not get anything going. They could not get the puck up the ice. When they did get it in, they couldn't find a guy, or they found a guy and he would miss it, or the pass would go to nobody. So it wasn't there tonight for most of the game. And I do think, eventually you're going to miss Draisaitl. like awesome, they got 11 goals in 2 games without him. Mm-hmm. Eventually you're going to miss him. So maybe I do think we got to remember he wasn't playing tonight, and I know you don't want to use that as an excuse too much, but I mean, he didn't play. They're better when he plays. So eventually you're going to there's going to be maybe a night like this where you might think, well, if he's playing, who knows what kind of a game-breaking play he could have made.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong from a fan's point of view being disappointed with the result and how that game played out from an Oilers point of view. But, I think it's good to also remind everyone they basically played with 19 skaters tonight, right? Even though they went 11-7, or pardon me, 17 skaters. Even though they went 11-7, they really didn't play Regula. They rotated through the fourth line, or pardon me, the fourth pair of wingers with the three centermen, at least for the first little bit of the game. And then obviously you have to shorten the bench when you're chasing a goal and trying to take away the lead and get the equalizer. So they're outmanned because they're in a cap crunch. They've got a couple guys that are on the shelf, and Leon's away. That's another thing. I think that's fair to bring up and be like, you're kind of behind the eight ball, and listen, the New Jersey Devils, even though they were second worst in the Eastern Conference, they're a much better team than the St. Louis Blues and the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
You think that's fair?
Yeah, for sure. And they also lost Podkolzin for about a third of the game because he got 17 minutes in penalties. So that didn't help either. I heard you give that stat about the shooting percentage. Devils were 8.62 all situation shooting percentage.
Not good.
Coming into this game. So, and what were they? 28th, 27th, 28th in goals for per game.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, they only got 2, but the Oilers couldn't find a way to even get it to overtime tonight. I thought that the Podkolzin was a story coming into this game. I mean, he did have a breakaway in the third period where he. At first, I didn't think. I said it to you up in the press box, Tom. I didn't think he got a shot away till I saw the replay. I thought he kind of got too close to Allen and then tripped over him, but he did get the shot away. He just couldn't elevate it. He made a couple other good plays. Certainly, he earned a lot of points. I think with his teammates and with the fans with that fight tonight. Like right in there when Kovacevic hit McDavid. I know the fans were chanting, "Ref, you suck," but this is what I always say. There's a difference between bad enforcement and a bad rule. And the instigator, I think, is a bad rule.
Yes.
And I know I'll have to watch it again because somebody was saying, like their gloves came off at the same time, or Kovacevic's gloves were actually even off first. Like
he knew it was coming.
Yeah,
he was ready.
I just think if you want to have the instigator rule, don't make it 17 minutes in penalties. Like that's insane. Ridiculous. Like if you want to give a team a power play for an instigator, okay, fine, I can live with that. But then the guy gets 10 minutes on top of that. I know, I guess the flip side of that as well, Reed, they're trying to discourage it. But I mean, there are times when a player is going to jump in there for a teammate, especially when a teammate like McDavid gets hit with a hit that wasn't necessarily completely dirty, but it was certainly willingly putting his toes over the line and almost saying, "Okay, what are you going to do about it?"
It was a forearm shiver
like this, yeah. So but Colson jumped in there. Good for him. But yeah, I just think that the 17 minutes in penalties is, or maybe there should be a 5-minute misconduct, so it's like 2, 5, and 5 or something. I don't know, but that's a long time. And it was funny, but Podkolzin stayed in the dressing room. Yeah, most of that penalty. I thought you had to sit in the penalty box, but he just came out during the TV timeout and then just sat in there for the last 2 or 3 minutes of the penalty. Another call I want to comment on. I know fans were mad about this one. This is probably not going to be a popular comment.
I know where you're going. All yours. Go ahead.
Has this been brought up yet? Maybe when I wasn't listening.
Take it.
Look, the McDavid Connor Brown play in the second period. McDavid deserved a penalty there. Okay, like he does that all the time. He skates by a guy, and he will either kind of try to propel himself off the player, or he'll stick his arm basically into the guy's gut and dare him to grab it. And Brown sort of half shrugged it off, half pushed back, and took McDavid down, but McDavid was also committing a foul on the play. So that's and they didn't call McDavid for diving. They called him for holding, and they called Brown for interference. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the rare times where I thought the ref did a good job to call both guys. But really, McDavid initiated the contact on that play, and he does that. And he's earned power plays off it, where he's been going past a guy and has, given him a tug to propel himself, or like I said, almost hooked his arm inside the other guy's arm. And it's like, hey, I dare you to hold me, because if you don't, I'm going to skate by you. Yep. And if you try to stop me, I've put my arm where you can grab it, and you're going to get a penalty. Now, look, that's gamesmanship. Like that, this is not like, oh, McDavid's a bad boy. No, I think that's great. Like, Oilers fans should be glad he's at that point in his career. He's done that a long time, but I don't think he really added it maybe till his third or fourth year. It's a clever play, but I'm also telling people today that was a penalty on McDavid. Like, yes, I know it was exciting. It looked like maybe it was going to be a 5-on-3, but he was involved in interfering with Brown as much as Brown was interfering with him. That was actually
initiated the contact. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, it is Reed's Read, brought to you by Ewell with the one and only Reid Wilkins, 780-218-9999. Nasty Chat been going strong on the late one tonight. Well done, Nasty Chat. Appreciate that as always. Good numbers tonight. Thank you guys so much. Greg the Sound Guy has this to say before we look ahead to Thursday with Reid. Greg the Sound Guy says, boys, that looked like a team that had them a bit of a party last night. It was also OEG's Christmas party last night, but I could tell you from firsthand knowledge, emceeing, being at 8 of those, the players don't generally get after it. They usually duck out a little bit after the dinner. However, like Joaquin said a couple nights prior, they got the green light. Nugent Hopkins 1,000th game. Anyway, Greg the Sound Guy says, good news is they appear to be a tight bunch, as they all look like recovering from some yummies. The officiating was random and horrendous again. How the heck can sports betting allow for this? This league is bush at best with its reffing. Sucks they lost, but sometimes they are their own worst enemy. Greg the Sound Guy doesn't hold back, Reid. The
reffing wasn't bad tonight. Like the reffing.
I'm just reading the text.
I know, and I'm disagreeing. I'm disagreeing with him. The reffing was not bad tonight. The 2 calls he's probably pissed off about. I explained why he shouldn't be pissed off about them.
Luke, you'd be.
And second of all, sports betting doesn't regulate the refereeing. The league should worry about that. Though I understand having sports betting as prevalent as it is can create questions. But I don't. I'll politely disagree with most of Greg's text, but that's fine.
All right. One more here. Wasted opportunity, says Coach Mike. Now it's the next 3 opponents playing the night before in Calgary. Oilers have to take advantage of this favorable schedule. They can't win 3 in a row, so they're going 6-2 during the homestand, aren't they, Coach Mike? Well, they get the Pittsburgh Penguins on Thursday night. As I mentioned earlier, the return of Stu Skinner and Brett Kulak, and it's Crosby and McDavid going toe-to-toe. We'll see what happens with Draisaitl if he's ready to come back by Thursday. Not sure where Kapanen's at, encouraging that he skated. But Riedrich, when you look at this game Thursday, what tantalizes you most?
Well, seeing Crosby again.
I thought you were a Brian Rust guy.
I'm a big Brian Rust guy. Yeah, I'm a big.
A little bit surprised.
I might wear my Jim Pack jersey to the game as a throwback.
Great obscure reference. Wow. Very well done, sir.
Well, I mean, it looks like it's going to be Ingram and net first of all, so I don't think we're going to get Jarry versus Skinner.
You wouldn't go back to Jarry?
What's that?
You wouldn't go back to Jarry on Thursday?
It doesn't sound like they're going to, because Knobloch keeps saying they don't want to overuse Jarry coming back from the injury.
Okay, I get it.
So I don't know. And like he said, they'll always announce their plan the day of the game. So that's just the impression I got. But right. I mean, it's not as if that he should be exhausted either. I guess if they're playing without Leon again, and my gut just tells me he's not back until Saturday with the language that they've used. Then okay, that's going to be another tough game going 11-7, right? And each individual game you play without a guy that you're going to miss him more. Like I said, they got through 2 games without him, got 11 goals against a couple of not very good teams, like one lousy team and one not very good team. And then it kind of was more noticeable tonight that he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So just that, continued struggle to have other lines that work besides the big line and to have, a power play. Though the power play got a couple decent looks tonight, though also at times it looked like, oh my goodness, how are they even going to get through the neutral zone?
All right, then. Is that it? Anything else?
I don't really have much else.
You just kind of stopped.
Well, that was the end of my thought.
Benny, am I crazy?
I ran out of paper in the printer. I got to respool.
I know a guy. His name's Chet Palmer. He's got paper in the printer at all times.
He's at the typewriter, ready to go.
That's right. Hey, excellent stuff as always, my friend. It was an absolute pleasure sitting and chatting with you and the Latino Heat all night long. I like that. That was a good combo. And I look forward to seeing you in studio tomorrow.
All right. It's going to be wonderful. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for listening, everybody.
There you go. The one and only Reid Wilkins for Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Visit them at ewell.ca. You can shop online there too. All right, time now to get to the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game, Ben Thomson. The floor is yours, my friend.
My favorite segment. Just kidding. Maybe. Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. Damon Bunting has been a consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home. Community driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit him at Instagram, Damon Bunting Real Estate. I'm going to go. This is going to sound biased. Okay. I understand this.
Lay it on me, brother.
I understand people like some people that don't like me are going to call me biased. I don't care.
Get used to it, pal. You're in media. Sorry. Get used to it.
I thought Matt Savoy had a pretty damn good game. I think him and Ike Howard are getting more and more comfortable in the NHL. I think it came a little bit easier with Savoy this year because he had a year in pro already. Howard, I think ever since he got called back up from Bakersfield, has looked a lot more comfortable in the NHL. He's got a bit more of a jump to him. I mean, Savoy gets off the schneid. He hadn't scored. I think it was 16 games was the stat that Jack gave on the broadcast. To me, I thought he had a very solid game. They gave him a lot of a leash today with his ice time. I believe he played 17. He played 16:42. 16:42. And obviously you're running, 11 forwards. So he's going to play more, obviously. And Pot Colson was in the box for 17 minutes. But I thought when he was out there, played pretty good. And like you were saying earlier, when Roslick was getting put at center with those guys, they looked good. And to me, when Draisaitl comes back, you do whatever you can to try to keep that third line together because it seems like their chemistry is brewing there. And I've liked what I've seen from that line. So, I feel like Matt Savoy getting out the schneid, scoring the only goal for the Oilers tonight. He gets player of the game.
All right. Brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, now part of the agency. Nicely done, Ben Thomson. Let's see. I've got a couple texts here. Bert Tom chiming in says, I love Reid keeping us fans in check. Reid is the voice of reason a lot of times, and it's always good to, bounce some ideas off of him. Let's go to Dirty Curdy as we wind things down. A couple of texts to get to. Snake Bit says Dirty Curdy. Jake Allen owns us. A hideous 40 followed by missing 10 grade A chances, 0 for 9 and counting. By the way, what the hell was Nurse doing on that first goal? Public skate. Dirty Curdy with that one. Yeah, that's a great question on the Nurse play. Dr. Seuss spelled differently. Interesting. Operator Rich says, real contenders can win 3 in a row. This is insane that it's almost February. Just flat out unacceptable. Yeah, this was game 51 tonight. Thank you, Operator Rich, for the text. Stanley in YYC says, where do we even begin? Just as frustrating as the Islanders and Wild losses, why does Jake Allen look like a Vezina goalie when he plays against the Oilers? Stanley in YYC. Let's go to Jack from Cincinnati, staying up late out in Cincy. Says the line blender was crazy today. I think Pods played shifts on every line tonight. Literally, yeah. The 11-7, Pod Colson 17 minutes and penalties. A lot of factors went into that, Jack, for show. And then this one says, I thought the forwards looked good. All lines, just some bad luck. Pod Colson looked great and is continuing to gain more confidence every game. Might need to order his jersey. I love his game. No name on that text. And EA says, what was attendance? In the words of Krusty the Clown, what the hell was that? 3-game winning streak, level impossible. That's from EA. And Leon's body language early in the show said, someone get some twisted teas to the dressing room. Gager was 100% correct. Yeah, he called it that they weren't going to win tonight. The elusive 3-game winning streak, 51 games in. We'll see if they can get it done. They got some work to do against a Penguins team that's having a good season. They've got some good play out of Stu Skinner, and it's going to be interesting. Some added fuel to the fire, and it's always great when Pittsburgh comes to town or the Oilers go to Pitt. It's going to be a lot of fun on Thursday. Benny, final thoughts from you, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, tough loss. But once again, I think I side on the optimistic side. You're not going to win every hockey game. And the Oilers, I thought, rough first 40, but that final third period should have won you the game, probably, in my opinion, at least. Good on Jarry for keeping the minute on the short amount of chances that he saw. But Jake Allen was a rock solid for New Jersey. I mean, I hate that we're gonna have to keep talking about this 3-game win streak, nonsense, but this is what it is. So let's see if they can start it back up on Thursday. Hopefully Drysdale's back. If not, you still got to beat a pretty good team over in Pittsburgh that's been kind of having an up and down season. Sidney Crosby's in town, so I imagine the boys get up for it. So I guess see how they do Thursday. But tonight, just a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is.
A wise man once said, 10th time's the charm.
Yep.
Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. Somewhere down the road we heard it. All right, brother. Good show tonight. Big thank you to everybody who watched, everybody who listened. The late one, 8:22 face-off. Great job with the Indigenous celebration tonight. Fantastic anthem. Some great activations, as they say, and theming, and fantastic to see. I love that Turtle Island logo. I think it's great, and we saw it out in full force tonight. The Oilers will look to do Oil Country proud, get back into the win column when they welcome in Sidney Crosby and the Pens on Thursday night. Stu Skinner and Brett Kulak along for the ride as well. The boys will get you going tomorrow, 6 a.m. right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Dusty, Lieutenant Eric, and of course YouTube Trev. All of the recapping you'll want, and much, much more, because the boys always bring it to get your day started the right way. And then a full slate of programming. Myself and Maddie, and I think Jasmine and Belzy are in on the hangout, and then we go on from there. Once again, big thank you from all of us. For Benny and Gager and Riedrich, I am Thomas, saying have a wonderful night, everyone. Sleep well, stay warm. We'll see you tomorrow.